Hi, my name is Magda Habas. I'm a professor at Canadian University, and I do research on electromagnetic pollution, and I work with people who have developed electrical hypersensitivity. I think everyone is sensitive to this energy, so it's not just people who have symptoms of electro hypersensitivity. We are electromagnetic beings. Our heart rate, our brainwave activity, all of our cells are electromagnetic. And when we're exposed to this radiation, it interrupts the functioning of our cells. And so whether you have symptoms or not, you're going to be affected by this radiation. The people who are electrically hypersensitive have been exposed to too much of the radiation already, but whether or not you have symptoms or not, you are sensitive. So the more you're exposed, the worse your symptoms are likely to become. And that's why it's so important, not only to protect people who are electrically hypersensitive, but to protect the rest of the population so they don't develop these symptoms of electro hypersensitivity. We know that probably maybe 5% of the population have very severe problems where they cannot live in cities anymore. They have to go out into the countryside where there's no exposure at all. We know that maybe a third of the population has moderate or mild problems where they develop a headache, they can't think clearly, but they can still work. So they're functioning at a suboptimal level. The science shows that there are problems with the nervous system, there are problems with the hormonal system, there are problems with the digestive system. So all of the systems in the body are affected in some way with different people. Some of the symptoms include fatigue, difficulty sleeping, difficulty concentrating, problems with poor short-term memory, confusion. Sometimes they have problems with depression and with anxiety disorders. Cardiovascular system is affected. The blood system is affected. People who have electrical sensitivity, their blood cells stick together so they don't flow freely. And it can cause problems like a stroke or a heart attack because their blood becomes so coagulated. We have evidence that it affects the skin. We have people breaking out in rashes. We have evidence that it affects the ears, where they have a ringing in the ear. We have evidence that it affects the eyes as well. Cataract formation is very common. So virtually all parts of the body are affected, although the part that is affected the most is the nervous system. One of the most sensitive people in our population are children. I don't think we need more research. I think we have enough research that we can act. And I think what we should do is begin to reduce our exposure. So having a strong immune system is very, very important to try to get people to recover. So not only do you have to reduce your exposure, you have to build up your immune system so that you can tolerate the different stresses the environment presents. Well, people who are electrically hypersensitive, they tend to be mocked by the media. Some of the mass media is owned by the telecom companies. And so it makes it easier for the reporters to criticize anyone who claims that they're electrically hypersensitive. So we really have to find out where's the money coming from and who's funding the different organizations that are sharing information. And that goes for scientific research, and it goes for the media as well. There are some people who do good research and some people who are paid by the industry to do bad research so that there's confusion as to what the harmful effects are. So when it comes to research, I honestly believe we know there's enough evidence for us to act. Okay. I think what we need to do is bring charges against the government that is not having the appropriate protection for the people. So when we bring in new technology, more cell phones, more cell towers, 5G technology, the Internet of Things, this is going to make a very large percentage of the population sick, I think. And because of that, I think what we need to do is figure out where do we need to use this technology and where can we put the radiation on the wire. In the very short term, the evidence is terrible. I think once they start bringing out the 5G technology, that the whole picture changes, because they are going to have so many different antennas at a very high frequency. So the military is using the same type of frequencies that we're going to be using in 5G. They're using it for crowd control, to control populations. Sure. So what we're doing now with the technology we currently have, it's already very dangerous. But once we have even more technology and newer technology, my prediction is that we're going to have a tsunami that we won't be able to deal with. And it'll be too late for the human population. Many people are going to become sick. Many people are going to die. And I think it bodes very poorly for the future.
De que no hay control sobre la radiación electromagnética. La radiación 5G tiene capacidad de dañar el organismo humano. La radiación 5G genera cuadros inflamatorios masivos, tormenta de citoquinas y trombosis generalizada. ¿Por qué? Porque es la radiación la que genera daño en la biología humana. Escuché quien ha dicho, tratando de satirizar lo que nosotros hablamos, de que 5G no transmite virus ni bacterias, pero por favor, no nos traten de idiotas. Lo que daña es la onda electromagnética, microondas escalares que son de diseño y uso militar y que jamás se han usado a escala masiva. Y esto también tiene fuerte relación con los cuadros severos que han ocurrido en Europa y en China. Y tal vez aquí, ¿sí? Estamos bajo ataque total con el alimento, con los cultivos, con los medicamentos, con las vacunas en general, con el